My name is John Dawson, and I'm going to demonstrate yet another way to do monoprints. This process incorporates both the oil-based monoprint technique and the water-based technique. Now you can do this with two plexiglass plates, both being exactly the same size, one that hasn't been scuffed up and one that has been. However, you don't really need to. You can do everything on one plate, and it has to be the plate that's been scuffed up. The plate needs to be beveled all the way around to keep it from damaging your blankets when it goes through the press. The oil-based technique will print just fine on the scuffed up plate, but the water-based technique doesn't work very well unless the plate has been scuffed up. First, I'll very quickly demonstrate the beveling of the plate and the scuffing of the plate. To bevel the plate, you just need to file down the edges all the way around and make sure the corners are rounded off. I usually indicate the back of the plate so that I don't wind up painting on the wrong side. Scuffing the plate is very simple. You just take some sandpaper. I use a sanding block, and you need to go over the plate in various directions to get it scuffed up. I'm going to be using a ghost image from a previously printed monoprint, and going to quickly run through the printing process for the oil-based print of which the ghost image came from. First, I'll be rolling out the ink in a blended roll. Then I'll be applying the ink to the monoprint plate. After the ink has been applied to the plate, I will be drawing out the figure that I want to paint in freehand. Next, I have to wipe out the area where the figure goes. Then I'm painting in the figure. After the figure is completely painted in, I put it through the press, and we are getting the initial print of the monoprint. Once you've run the plate through the press, you can take that same plate and put it back on the press and run it through a second time to get what's called a ghost image. This is the ghost image I've printed after having run that same plate through the press a second time. Now I'm going to take this print and print a second print on top of it using the water-based technique. I'm putting the plexiglass plate over the top of the monoprint face down, and then I'm going to draw the outline on the back of the plate of the figure. Next, I'm also on the back of the plate drawing in a square, and then once that square has been drawn in, I'm going to turn the plate over and tape out the square. Once I have the square taped out, I'm mixing up the ink. This is water-soluble block printing ink, and I'm making a blended roll. The blended roll has three colors, red, orange, and yellow, and I'm rolling it onto the plate, and now removing the tape. I've put the plate on a light box, and using a pencil, I'm outlining the drawing that I've done on the back. With water on a paper towel, I'm removing the ink from the area where I'll be painting in the figure. At this point, I'm using various water-soluble media, markers, crayons, and water-soluble pencils to draw in the figure. Next, you have to soak the previously printed monoprint. It needs to be soaked for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then it has to be blotted dry, similar to how you would blot dry paper for an etching. You need to continue to blot the print until it is damp but not shiny. The placement of the plate and the paper on the press is important to get the best possible registration. I use a pre-marked Mylar sheet to achieve the best possible placement. Then when you're pulling the print off the plate, you should do it very slowly in order to keep from tearing the print. And this is the finished print. The print then needs to be pressed in order for it to dry flat. I put it between a couple pieces of newsprint and then 2 pieces of pegboard. And finally, here are a couple more examples showing the first print through the press and then the final print. Well, that about covers the various ways to do monoprints. We'll follow this up with other examples of monoprints of mine, and the web address for my website and Facebook page. And if you're interested, you can see other instructional videos of mine on YouTube.